The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, Heckma Harrison, and Newey Scruggs.
We in the Players Lounge going up on a Tuesday. Yeah, you know where the camera is. You know your angle.
Is that what it is?
Work your angle, because sometimes, hey, when you hold your drink up, you got your pinky finger up. This is a Players Lounge.
That's what I know.
Yeah, that's what he knows.
That's what I know.
No Toledo?
Nah, that's
Scotch
expensive.
and soda. Whatever that is. Scotch and soda.
Hey, you know what it is. It's the Players Lounge. You are now rocking with the best. I'm Heckma Harrison, and at the desk, per usual, are my compadres, Danny McCray with his LSU alum shirt on, and my man, Barry Church, in the place to be. The Players Lounge sponsored by Tostitos, the official chip and dip of the Dallas Cowboys. And fellas, we got so much to get into, man. This going to be a good show. Raise your hand if you pick the Cowboys to win. That's me. Anyway.
You don't get to raise it off.
Yeah, you got it.
Hey, this is your show too, though. I'm going to give it to you.
Last week was National Check on the Dallas Cowboy Fan Day.
It was.
But it's different today, though.
Oh, it's
These
good.
are facts. These are
different
facts.
today, though.
It's good today.
But look,
Facts.
I'm going to start this off like I always start this off. We're going to do the wellness check. And I'm going to tell you, check on your people, all right? Y'all tell me what's going on, man. How you feeling? Tell me something good.
Hey, listen, this is how you know I love y'all, okay? Because my daughter had a 104 last night, okay? So we up all night, and then she couldn't go to school today. So I threw this on. I was like, I'm going to go do the Players Lounge, all right? She feeling better right now.
Okay.
But she
We
went
love
up
to
right
hear
before
that.
I left.
Back down?
But then it just went
It's
back up right
peaked
before I
back
left.
up?
So I'm finna walk back into a little show.
Okay.
But, you know, I get a little time to step away, come talk about the Cowboys. And
Oh,
I'll
good,
go
man.
back
We
home. So
gonna
I'm
make
good.
it. Well, look, we gonna make it do what
Yeah,
it do,
yeah,
baby.
yeah,
The
yeah,
babies.
yeah.
We want the babies to be well. This is the season. I don't know what's in the air. I don't know what's going on.
crazy
But
right now.
hey, like the old people say, make sure you take you some castor oil.
Without a doubt.
BC, what's up with you?
Well, first and foremost, hope Zoe feels better out there. The temperature, that's scary when you're dealing with
Yes,
little
sir.
ones out there. So hopefully she feels better. But from my standpoint, man, mentals is good.
Mentals is
is good right now, man. It's a beautiful day, not too hot on hoodie season, as you can see. So we're doing good. We're doing good out here, man.
All gravy, man. I tell you what, I'm good.
We know you good.
I'm
We know you
good.
good. We know.
I'm good, dog. I'm good. Listen, as far as mentals is concerned, man. Hey, man, I'm living somebody else's life. Don't pinch me. All right, just let me keep doing my thing. I'm telling you, whatever my ancestors are prayed to, thank you, because it's all good. Listen, man, my Cowboys yesterday took care of business.
They did.
They took care of business, and the days leading up to the Monday night was Cowboys this, Cowboys that, yuck, 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 ha, ha, ha. The Dak Prescott, the defense, the whole nine. We needed to right the ship. And the vibes just from the beginning. When I saw them fighting on the sidelines, we in the building. Somebody out there with an Oak Cliff mentality. It's my man, Dante Fowler.
That didn't surprise me. I was like,
Somebody got
Helmet smooth on.
That boy, I'm telling you. I'm so happy he didn't
Nah,
break
it was
his
Eckler, but you know.
but I'm just happy that man didn't break his hand
Oh, yeah.
because I'm telling you, I see too many people do that. But man, the immediate reaction, I mean, it was a nail-biting game. Wasn't as close as I wanted to be. Mistakes were made, but when you needed the Cowboys to create some separation, they finally did. We got so much to talk about this offense, defense, everything. But guys, I just want to know immediate reactions after the game or during the game. BC, I'll start with you.
Well, I'll wait, to get into the, coordinators and all that good stuff. We're just going to dive straight into what we saw out there on yesterday. Look, man, from just initial reaction going into and looking at that game, I'm going to be honest, to me, it boiled down to one thing. Usually, it's not that. Usually, you go into football games, there's a whole many different factors on what happened in this game. This is how that team won. There's all these different factors. But to me, this game was really simple, and it boiled down to one simple thing. Dak Prescott outplaying my boy Justin Herbert. Yep. That's what it came down to, in my opinion. I mean, when you look at it, I get on Dak Prescott, and rightfully so. The man last year threw 15 interceptions. Last week threw 3 interceptions. So I get on the man. But when credit is due, I got to give that man credit. He went out there, and for the first time in the last 2 years, I could say, at least in my opinion, that man put this team on his shoulders. Simple as that. I don't care how you want to break it down. When you look at what the Cowboys were able to do offensively, it wasn't something where it was like this play call, this just drew it up perfect for Dak Prescott. All he has to do is throw the football there, and it's a completion, and that's how we're going to move the football. If you look at all the chunk plays that happened in that game, Dallas Cowboys wise, they were made from Dak Prescott improvising, using his legs out there. The biggest play of the game, in my opinion, the Tony Pollard play, what happened on that situation? The pocket collapsed. He could have been sacked, in my opinion. Should have been sacked. What did he do? Duck, dodge around. I don't know. He got out of there somehow. Scrambling, saw Pollard, threw the ball across his body to Pollard, and Pollard did the rest. But to me, that's what Dak Prescott was doing all game. He put this team on his shoulders, scrambling with the football, was able to find receivers, extend plays out there. And to me, that was the difference. It was the two quarterbacks. It came down to it. Was Mike, we'll get into the play call a little bit later, but when it came down to it, these two quarterbacks were the difference maker. Dak Prescott made the plays, made the throws, either the throws or his legs. He was able to do that, and Justin Herbert simply didn't able to do it. And that's my guy, too. That's my guy. I think very highly of Justin Herbert, but he didn't come to play at all. And that's what I was saying when it comes to him, why he's not in that upper echelon. It's because when it comes down to clutch time, what Joe Burrow, what Mahomes, even Josh Allen, I'll put him in that category. When they're able to do in those clutch situations, separates them from the rest of them. Herbert had that opportunity to go out there, 2 minutes left, one timeout, to go out there and at least get him in field goal range. You didn't even need a touchdown. Field goal range, and he wasn't able to do that. He threw that interception, and that's squarely on Justin Herbert because he had options out there. Even that sack when Parsons came in and took that sack on second down, I believe, he had Eckler wide open over there, scot-free. He didn't read the play. That was on him, in my opinion. So when you look at this game, the coordinators, I believe, watched themselves out. When you talk about Kellen, Mike McCarthy, I think they both called a really good game. Defensively, Dan Quinn put a wrinkle in there that I thought would get exposed when you put 14 in there, but he balled out. He did his thing. Marquise Bell did his thing, and he basically neutralized Eckler out there. Anytime you saw Eckler with the rock, 14 was right there to get him. So I believe Dan Quinn and even my guy Staley, who usually would throw the game away somehow, some way, he came to play defensively. I mean, they held this team to 20 points when they've been giving up 25 for the entire season. So even they came to play. To me, what this boiled down to was the quarterbacks, and I got to give credit where credit is due. Dak Prescott went out there, and he played himself a hell of a game.
D-Mac, tell me something.
Yeah, mine's going to be a lot shorter than that, okay? All right, because I'm with Barry. I think the key and what I saw from this game was when the Cowboys have a spark, right? They have something that entices them to say, all right, we have something to fight for. Then they are a different team. Okay, you come out the first game of the season, you got something to fight for. You got a point to prove against the New York Giants, right? And you want to keep on rolling. You lose that fight, right? When you lose to San Francisco,
right?
All right, you play on Monday, thankfully, and you get to see that San Francisco and the Philadelphia Eagles lose the game. Yeah. So what do you say? All right, this is not only a get-right game, this is a get-back-in-the-race game, all right? So now you have more to go play for, and they came out, and they looked like they had more to play for. One person specifically on offense looked like they had something to prove, Dak Prescott. And what we've been saying for the last 2 years, the key to success for this offense and Dak to be successful is to be able to have confidence in using his legs. Because if he doesn't, then they don't look the same.
Right.
He looks this game, because I don't want to, overreaction Tuesday and say it's going to be this way all the time. But we have seen him so far this season get more and more comfortable using his legs. And that is the only way for us to be successful as we want to be on offense, because that's what he's always been. He's been an athletic quarterback who gets out on the edge and extend plays and gets guys the balls in positions to where they can then go score the football. All right? And Dak did that. So on that side, absolutely 100% great. Defensively, the guy who has been the most consistent for us in the run game is 90.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Lawrence is 90. Who's the tone setter for you in the run game? DeMarcus Lawrence. And he is going to show up every time. When we talk about like getting out physical stuff like that, person I'm not talking about in that situation is DeMarcus Lawrence, because he always has showed up, and throughout this entire season, he went out there and set the tone against them in the running game again. So what am I seeing? Two big-time leaders who have been here, done it before, stepping up when they knew they had something to play for, and they went out there and got it done, right? And I'm going to get this to Dak, too. That man threw some big-time passes. Not all caught, because that score could have been way different than it was, but he came out this week and we talked about the deep ball and he wasn't throwing it right and all that stuff. He came out this week and he looked like a guy who was throwing for 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns, and he looked like that guy. So hopefully you can keep that up. We do know that this was, just to put a little tamper on, this was a bad defense.
You gotta throw some context.
There it is.
No, just that. But I'm saying, listen, if Dak uses his legs, our defense plays that way where he can get out and extend plays and then give our defense rest. I think that you are able to compete with any team in the league. If you don't, then you got a problem when you play against
nobody's been harder on Dak, or at least more critical of Dak in those times where he hadn't risen to the occasion. And to see you two former players give him his props on a game that I feel the same way as you, BC. He put the team on his shoulders when he needed to. You've been begging, asking for Dak to do it with his legs.
Got to.
You've been asking him. Don't be just a pocket passer. Get out, move. They need you to do more. Offensive line-wise, we had so many guys playing musical chairs. How do you help this offensive line? And he helped his own offensive line, even though he was sacked 5 times, by getting out in space and creating with his legs and throwing that one to Pollard, the other one that he made to Cooks. But this is where I want to get to this wide receiver group, because coming into this game, everybody wants to know, where the hell is the wide receiver group? We saw the last game versus the 49ers, CeeDee Lamb standing away from the whole team on the bench. I was asking, where is Brandon Cooks? What's happening with Brandon Cooks? Because we hadn't seen the production there. This game, I think you see it come full circle. Look, for CeeDee Lamb, 7 catches, 117 yards. No tutties, but still, that's the big game that you expected him to have. D-Mac, when you were watching the game and just the production that you got from the receiver skill position room, were you satisfied with that, or was there still something left to be desired in your mind once the game ended?
Man, listen, for me, I was satisfied just because of what we hadn't seen in the previous games. From what we know Brandon Cooks and CeeDee Lamb can do, I'm not satisfied because I know that Brandon Cooks can do more. And when you throw him the ball, we see that he's going to make that type of stuff happen. When you get CeeDee Lamb the ball and he feels included in the game, you see what type of stuff he makes happen. Michael Gallup, I think he'll – I don't know. I think
Look, come on, tell me.
I don't know. He had some opportunities to make some big-time plays, even though he did catch some balls, some footballs from Dak. He had some opportunity to make some really big plays and set himself apart as possibly the number 2 guy and the number 1 deep threat on this squad. And I don't think he took advantage of that opportunity, but – he catches those passes. You continue to feed CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks. Then I'll be satisfied because I know what the result is going to be because all 3 of those dudes can ball.
Yeah, when you talk about satisfaction from that receiving core, I'm not quite there just yet. Because even though you got to throw some context on it, that defense and that secondary is literally the worst in all of football. Right? I think they're ranked 32nd or 31st against the pass. So when you throw some context on it, you would like to see maybe a little bit more from those receivers, especially in the second half. But to me, overall, Dak Prescott got the most out of his receivers. I'll give him that much. I think Dak Prescott set himself aside from the rest of the squad as far as putting them on his shoulders and making sure they get the job done. But when you look at it, there were still plays in there where these receivers, the separation wasn't just there. It took Dak Prescott out there extending the plays, running around back there in the pocket, buying time for those guys to get open out there, and he was feeding them the football. What I would like to see going forward, and maybe it's just nitpicking here and there, but I would like to see them drop back, 5-step drop, hit that foot on the back, release it. The receiver got separation right there. Not, oh man, let me buy some time for these guys to go ahead and get open, because they have the ability to do so, especially as CeeDee Lamb. And I think it's more about the other receivers. I think CeeDee Lamb can get that separation. We saw it out there yesterday, and I think it's more about the secondary receivers getting those options as well. Talking about B. Cooks and Gallup getting that separation out there. So for the most part, did I like what I saw from this offense? Yes, but I loved what I seen from Dak Prescott even more.
I think Brandon Cooks, going back to my critique last week against him, was just, we came into the season expecting so much from him. Yeah. We were asking, you were saying, the 1A, 1B as far as the number 1 receiver, and we hadn't seen that. We hear Dak in the afterwards talking about Brandon Cooks and his leadership and how he's been from day one. Great locker room guy, but you want to see the production. And the Dallas Cowboys offense needs a playmaker. They need a guy to be that when the chips are down, we can go to you. All right? The whole stadium know you're about to get the ball, but you're going to get the ball anyway. Finally, Cooks emerges as that receiver that can move the chains, and then you get my man CeeDee Lamb, who is then making bigger plays, stretching the field, double, triple team. Michael Gallup, I'm just gonna say it. I don't know ACL. I've never had an ACL, so I don't know what that is like. But I just don't see the speed that I've seen in him before. Okay, and maybe it's just going to be one of those things that maybe he could be that piece for us as the season goes further, that he can start to be that. But the other disappointing thing for me, guys, and y'all, I pounded the table for this tight end group. We're just not getting enough production from my tight end room.
I'm going to say, Newey not sitting here now. Yeah, Newey, I hope you listening. I don't care what nobody says. You can't tell me. And I'm not saying we should have paid the dude 15, 16, whatever he was asking. My point is, you're missing a guy like Dalton Schultz in the passing game. Running game, I don't know about that. I think you could probably make up for it, though. But in the passing game, Dak Prescott not having that outlet when he's in trouble, and then also just having a guy that's able to read zones, get open in spots, run the seam, and you're going to automatically catch the ball. Like, Dalton Schultz is going to catch the ball, and he's a red zone threat. It's no confusion here of the missing link. One of the big missing links of like why our red zone offense is not the way it used to be.
Yeah.
Dalton Schultz was a man in the red zone who you were going to find and he was going to score touchdowns. So you don't have it, and we haven't been able to make up for that.
Let me ask you this, Barry, because we've talked about Mike McCarthy's offense. Good, bad, ugly. It's a lot to digest because you don't know what it was going to look like prior to the season. But now that you're getting an opportunity to look at it, there's some areas of it that you just like, okay, we got to work on that.
Yeah.
All right? And there's some other areas of it that you're like, okay, I like that. When you sat down, now that this sample size that you've had going into the bye week and you've seen Mike's offense, what are your initial thoughts, man? Like, and even going through the rest of the season with this offense?
No, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
I believe they're in trouble. When you talk about making sure this offense can hold its own against the better teams in the National Football League. I mean, I just don't think, or I haven't seen so far this season that they're able to do that. I mean, we've seen when they win against a good team and a good defense with the 49ers, what happened? They weren't able to move the ball at all, turn the football over. When you win against Arizona, who I'm not going to sit here and say they have a great defense or anything like that, but when you got to the red zone, you weren't able to push it in. Here again,
2-4 in the red zone.
2-4. That's what I say. This week they were 2-4 in the red zone. To me, that's not going to get it cut going forward.
Okay.
So, did he improve as far as creativity? Yes, I will say that, because that read option play for Dak's first touchdown, I got to give full credit to Mike McCarthy. He's the one that dialed it up and called it in there. Dak made the play. Kudos to that. That wheel route for Tony Pollard that should have been a touchdown. Dak missed him on the overthrow. That was a heck of a call. But outside of that, the majority of the production from this offense came from broken plays. And it came from Dak Prescott scrambling around, extending plays, making sure his receivers had time to get open. If we're just going to sit back and 3-step drop, 5-step drop, get the ball out, this offense ain't moving the football. I mean, we've seen that. They're not moving the football. It's taking Dak to put the team on his shoulders as far as extending plays for them to have some offensive production. So in my mind, I'm thinking I haven't seen it quite yet, but I believe they're in trouble going forward. And then I take what I said back about the wide receivers. Michael got 10 targets?
Yes.
Yeah.
10 targets. You got 3 catches for 24 yards?
I didn't want
I take it back. I'm sitting there looking. Cooks, okay, 4 for 4. 4 targets, 4 catches, 36 yards.
Why only 4, though?
That's what's puzzling to me.
That's the question.
And I think it comes down to the play call. And that's why I say, I believe they're in trouble. But, yeah, those wide receivers, I mean, that's ridiculous. 10 targets?
Yeah.
And it ain't like you're going against Revis. You ain't going against Diggs or somebody out there. This was the worst pass defense in the National Football League.
I think to that tight end room, I think the issue that you're having is you ain't found nobody who can attack the seams yet. Mm-mm. Like they gave it to Hendershot.
Hendershot, you dropped it.
And then Schoonmaker dropped it. Yeah. And then Michael Gallup got out there. So you still trying to find somebody who can attack the middle of the field. And I think that's a huge issue. If it's me, I'm no offensive coordinator. Brandon Cooks is running deep overs at least 5 or 6 times a game.
How have we not seen that?
He is clearing out the zone or the man. If it's man-to-man, I'm throwing it to him every time on a deep over route. I'm lining up in trips closed. He's lining up as a number 3 guy. He's running a deep over. CeeDee Lamb is running either the seam or dig. And we're going to find out if these guys are playing man-to-man, who can, one, keep up with these guys, and then you got to also stop them from making the catch. Like, I'm just putting that type of pressure on them, especially if you need one of those chunk plays.
Yeah.
he did draw it up to where there was some good opportunities to hit the seam routes. The route that he drew up for Cooks, knowing that he had that speed to bring him all the way across, and Dak perfectly plays football.
On that touchdown?
On the touchdown.
That was
perfectly plays football. But you take advantage of a guy like Cook's speed, right? And the ability to say, all right, even if he's still step to step with him, you put the ball there, he's gonna catch you. All right, because he's proven that he can do that over his career. So I don't know, man, about the Gallup thing. Like, I know you have to continue to try to keep him in the game, right, and keep him involved. But I think it's a little skewed of like, okay, CeeDee Lamb should be getting the most number of targets, and then it should be Brandon Cooks, and then Gallup and the tight end should be, in that next area. And I think that's how you are successful. If not, those 10 targets to where, Dak is scrambling and all that because you're not utilizing Brandon Cook's speed and CeeDee Lamb's ability to run routes and catch balls, that's when you start to get yourself in trouble.
Cowboy Nation, how y'all feel? It's so good.
But I'm not with Church though. So you said all the receivers or just that?
No. Because I said, CeeDee Lamb, when it talks about separation and stuff, he's by himself. But the rest of these guys?
Yeah.
Hold on, 10 targets.
I'm still for Cooks, okay? I'm just saying, I'm still.
He was 4 for 4. He was 4 for 4.
And you throw the man the football. It's proven, though. Like, this stuff is proven. He ain't coming off no injury or nothing. If you throw him the ball, he's going to catch said football. Like, there's nothing that proves otherwise when it comes to Cook, no matter what team he's been on. So I don't believe that him coming here, all of a sudden, he's not that guy. Yeah. Like, I can't. If you would be a fool to think that Amari Cooper was that guy when he was here, if you go out there and watch Cleveland, because he ain't that guy. Give him an opportunity to get the ball.
No, we're going to see. But I'm not going to miss an opportunity to talk about this defense coming up next on the Players Lounge. We got to talk about it at the whole picture, all right? We got to talk about, I know y'all DQ you man, all right? So keep it real because this is the Players Lounge coming up next.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
To kick off the 2023 NFL season, Hugo Boss teamed up with the NFL and Micah Parsons to launch an iconic apparel collection featuring hoodies, crews, t-shirts, polos, joggers, and more. The bold, unique apparel of the Boss NFL collection unites football and fashion while reflecting what it truly means to be a boss. Get yours today at nflshop.com/HugoBoss, at HugoBoss.com, and at Boss retail stores. #Be your own boss.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks home or away, we rally together. We cry together, and we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Back to the Players Lounge.
I love the Players Lounge. Come on out to AT&T Stadium on February 24th for the Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship Series. Watch the world's best two-wheel racers converge for one night of non-stop action. Enjoy unprecedented access to the sport's biggest stars with an up-close view of their race bikes and team rigs at FanFest. Tickets are now on sale at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium. Back in action here on the Players Lounge. Newy Scruggs is stuck in traffic.
35, still 35 somewhere. I don't know.
He hate Houston so much, he might still be in there.
I knew it.
Eating that
Knew it be. Wait a minute. I would say knew he's gonna be back tomorrow, but tomorrow don't matter because he will be back here.
He'll be on the lounge.
He'll be on the lounge.
Won't be here.
Yeah,
You're gonna be
on the break.
You're gonna be on the break, and you're going to be
Talking Cowboys.
You go okay? Can you gonna be all right? That's the
9
early
a.m.
one.
That's but then it gives me the rest of the day. I get to
that's
swing the
good.
things
Oh
the rest
wait,
of the
I'm
day.
still gonna be on here with a Harrison. All right,
What Harrison? You gonna be
Nikki
on?
Harrison gonna be on there.
Nah, Nikki Harrison.
Wait, hold on.
Okay, I see on the invite. My bad.
Oh, yeah?
I was like, hold on, I got Harrison. Like, who gonna be on the break with me? Let me see.
There you go. There you go. Right there.
Oh, me, Derek. Oh, Nick.
Nick Harris.
No, this says Nikki Harrison on this.
Oh, okay. Well, you know they mixing the Knicks.
Yeah, okay.
Up.
Nick
There's a lot of
Harris,
Knicks in the building.
Nick Harris. Okay.
Something on there with a Harrison.
Y'all ain't gonna let me get away from these.
Not at all. You're surrounded.
First of all, Nikki's on all the invites because she sets the schedule.
CB gonna take up for herself. My bad. First of all,
it's a rich person argument. Hey, back in action here on the Players Lounge, Danny McCray, Barry Church in the building. After a victory, it was a lot said last week. Do we get a chance to address any of the elephants in the room?
Yeah.
Justin Herbert,
Let's do it.
I thought you was going another route because I know you was happy to know the other team lost in the division.
Oh, you thought
I know you happy to know. Couldn't wait.
The other boys. That's the first thing I thought he was going to say. Coming in. Yeah, other boys. I thought for sure that was going to be the first word.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Coming to the podium right now on our first installment of Other Boys. Danny McCray, please approach the mic.
Hey, that's tough, man.
I ain't gonna lie.
You gonna say it for the end? You gonna say it for the end?
Don't pull a Newey out.
I wasn't going to even mess with this dog.
All right. I'm all right. I'm okay.
Hey, Herb, we came into this match thinking that Herbert obviously would have a big day, needed to have a big day after a bye week with his injured hand, all of that. The Cowboys defense did a really good job up front containing the run, and also, hey, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't a perfect effort, but also containing those wide receivers for the Chargers. Guys, y'all got to tell me, it's two former safeties and Dallas Cowboy veterans. What did you guys think about the defensive performance, Barry?
When you talk about this defense, if we're giving them a letter grade, I would give them a B+. You know, I feel as though Dan Quinn and those boys, they did a heck of a job out there. The wrinkles that he was able to throw in there against a high-powered offense like the LA Chargers was immaculate. I mean, if you look at it, Marquise Bell, we talked about a little bit earlier, but he had a hell of a game out there. You talking about a guy where last week I was talking about when he came in the game, they looking at where's 14. We running straight at 14. That man must have had a great week of practice and came in there ready to go. Because against the run and the pass, he was on it. I mean, he was on it. You see the run up the middle going straight at him. He's dipping blocks and getting in there, making plays at the line of scrimmage or TFL. So the man was doing his thing. And when you talk about neutralizing Eckler, he was the sole cause of that. I mean, that guy, we saw that how many times Eckler hit a screen pass or go out in the flat and he's taking it for 60. Marquise Bell did his thing out there. So in that regard, I got to give big props to Dan Quinn putting that wrinkle in there and Marquise Bell doing his thing. Now, when you talk about Kellen Moore out there in this offense, I feel like Kellen Moore called a heck of a game. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I feel like he called a heck of a game. When you look at it and you look at the all 22, not just looking at, let me look at these stats. You're looking at the all 22. He was drawing up some things now. Like I said earlier, it came down to the quarterback. And that's where I'm going to have this because that was the difference between both sides. When you look about the Cowboys and the Chargers, what was the difference? Dak was able to make those throws, was able to make those plays in big-time situations. Herbert wasn't. That simple as that. When you look at those plays that Kellen had drawn up, he missed two wide open double moves from Keenan Allen. One in the first half and one in the second half. That's Herbert not making the throw. That's all that comes down to. It ain't like he was getting pressured because you could look at the tape. He was wide open.
But Barry, I watched enough of Herbert to have seen him not miss those throws. That's why I asked you the question off air. Do you think, and even though it's his other hand, and I'm not giving this man any excuses, Dan, I'm just telling you, he don't miss wide open like that.
Nah, listen, this is game after game, though. I know we don't want to put it on Kellen and whatever, but there have been multiple games where in the last 2 minutes, it's been on Herbert for not seeing the check or taking the sack, not seeing whatever it is. That still then falls on your offensive coordinator and your quarterback.
Yes.
Like this
I
is,
don't know if you can say that,
this is a consistent thing.
What you want them to do?
No, but
that's the thing.
From team to team, this is a consistent. Like we had this issue when Kellen was here as an offensive coordinator with the same exact issues that are going on at LA that Kellen was supposed to fix. So, albeit Justin Herbert did not play well. Some of it still has to fall on Kellen. He has always been great at calling plays. Like we've never had an issue with him. Even when we would get on him about Dak, it was still Dak missing wide open guys against the blitz. Kellen Moore's gonna call. That's why they call him Boy Wonder. It's situational football to where, all right, if my quarterback has a history this year of not being able to hit certain throws and make the right decisions, what do I then call to make sure that this doesn't happen? And he hasn't been able to connect with Justin Herbert and get him to do that. Because the same thing happened I think it was 2 games ago before they went into their bye week, where they on like the 10-yard line. They got to go 90, or actually they got to go like 50 to get a field goal, and they take 2 sacks. You come out this week, Micah Parsons closes the game out on you. Right. The most important player on the squad closes the game out on you. For our defense, I think it shows that Kyle Shanahan scheme is a lot different than what you will see from the rest of the teams in the league. 14, Marquise Bell looks totally different when you got to see the pullers and then recognize the jet sweep and do all that versus when you don't have all that eye candy in front of you and you just got to go out there and play football, right? You don't have to think. And I think when you playing with a Dan Quinn defense and you got these young guys out here, you playing into their hands when you don't try to fool them with their responsibilities and a lot of ghost motions and stuff like that, just how to throw them off and slow them down and stuff. When you don't do that, this Dan Quinn defense is pretty much unstoppable because they have the athletes to get out there and play, and he always puts them in the right position. Marquise Bell, play on another team, you have no idea what he's going to be. But Dan Quinn can take guys like that and Javon Curse and all those guys and put them in the perfect position for them to utilize all of their skills. So I'm impressed by watching it. But then we still have to figure out how when we do play those physical teams and those teams with the misdirection, how we just don't disappear when we play them. But for this game, man, to hold that team to 17.
Yeah,
that's a hell of a performance. With the injuries that you got,
that's where I'm at right there with the injuries. And I wanted to see how they lined up without Leighton Vander Esch, who was going to be. And so when I saw 14, I'm like, wait a minute, y'all got 14? Here's 215 pounds. What are we doing? I with Damone Clark, I was thinking maybe he would assume that role, but Bell being the guy that was shooting the gap, to me, that says what you said. The guy obviously has had a good week of practice. That's also Dan Quinn reinforcing his belief in a guy like that. We laughed a little bit when he was reinforcing his belief in Bland, right? Well, he said, you went back and looked at the All-22 and said, no, Bland played pretty good. Bland also is somebody. Guys, he didn't have the best out. Okay, there was a few plays that you could look at and go, hoo-hoo, if Herbert had connected there, then it would have been all on the second-year player. But other than that, he had a pretty decent game, man. What did you think about DaRon Bland?
Yeah, I think he had some rough moments against some really good receivers.
Yes.
Outstanding receiver. Keenan Allen is top 5 in receivers right now, especially numbers-wise, what he's able to do when he's the guy, all right? So DaRon Bland did struggle a little bit against him, but at the same time, he got his hands on 2 that I was like, okay, he's about to get interceptions on these. So we know that he still has, that ability to get out there and forget those plays where we saw him, because some of them were really bad. But as DBs, you have to be able to forget that last play, get out there and play the next one. I think he'll continue to get better. We forget Bland. It was the first time getting in the game last year. Yeah. All right, so now he's all of a sudden assuming the starting position. He's looking at a guy like Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's going to win against some guys, and he did that against DaRon Bland. So I still have faith in the guy. One, you always need somebody who could turn the ball over on your defense. You always need one of those guys, a ball-hawking guy, and he's the number 1 ball-hawking guy on our defense right now with Trayvon Diggs out.
And that's why, from what both of you guys said, that's why I can't put this one on Kellen Moore. You guys both said basically He hits Keenan Allen on 2 separate occasions where he's wide open. We talk about there's no one within 10 yards of Keenan. This ain't like he got to fit it in a tight window. There's no one within 10 yards of Keenan Allen. No rush in your face. And you still don't make those throws? Then we talk about the sack with Micah Parsons. Look, if you look at the tape, the man is Austin Eckler is standing 5 yards in front of him with no one in sight. No one in sight. He decides to throw the football over there who Gilmore has the guy strapped up. Now, was it coming to the pressure? Maybe, but I can't put that on Kellen Moore when he's drawing up plays and guys are scot-free. Because last year I didn't put it on Kellen Moore when he was drawing up plays and guys were scot-free. Yet the decision from the quarterback was made. And who did I put that on?
That's crazy. I know, but now it's like team to team because we saw Dak doing the same stuff last year. And we was like, what the heck is Dak doing? Right.
and that's why it comes down to the quarterback.
But now he took that same voodoo over there to L.A. We all the guy.
But how can you put that on Kellen?
I don't know what's going on with. I'm just saying it's traveling from team to team where the Monstars seem to be getting these guys.
It's contagious.
Where you you're confused because you've seen Justin Herbert make these throws and make these right decisions, and now it's like, damn, I don't get he's not the same guy.
But look, Justin Herbert, like I said plenty of times before, I believe in him. He's a great quarterback, or not great. He's a good quarterback. Mm-hmm. But we're not going to act like the previous years without Kellen Moore, he was just dicing boys up, and he was just out there making all these clutch moments. That's not the case at all.
He has some clutch moments.
Yeah, he has some clutch moments. And that's what puts him in that elite status. That's why he's top 5, because we've seen him do it. We've seen Justin Herbert in those moments.
You've seen him do it.
Yeah, he has some clutch moments, bro.
I mean, with all the yards, hey, that's your boy. I ain't finna be defending somebody.
That's all.
You know what?
I didn't defend him today.
You know what? You right.
I didn't defend him today.
He throwing him under the bus so he can say Kellen boy wonder.
You know what?
All right, so we're gonna keep it a beat. Let's keep it 100 on it. Whose fault was it for that L for the Chargers?
I'm telling you, I'm gonna put that on Herbert.
Keep it 100.
I'm put it on Herbert.
Listen. I think Herbert did miss some throws. My whole thing with Kellen is going to always stay the same. Whatever team he's on or being the offensive coordinator for, when it comes down to those type of moments, they are not moments where.
But what you expect him to do? Under 2 minutes, one timeout.
Listen,
they haven't sniffed it on the ground all game. He tried 25 times. They haven't sniffed it on the ground all game. So you want him to turn around under 2 minutes with one timeout, hand it off to Eckler for a 2-yard
game? I don't know what Kellen
You got to be able to open up the playbook and throw the ball. Put the trust in your best player offensively, which is Herbert, and that's exactly what the coordinator did.
But every team's MO isn't to abandon the run in the 2 minutes. And even though again, he had 2 minutes to go, he conserve your best plays. It seemed like in that second half period, they were just like, we can't get the ball. We can't run the ball, so we're not going to run the ball.
That is also a Kellen thing, though. Kellen will go away from the run.
So we're passing out blame. We're passing out blame, and we're dissecting the game.
He put up 10 points in the second half, though.
No, absolutely. I'm not.
They acting like they just grew a skunk in the second half.
No. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that was if it's 50-50, I'm going to say 60-40. Okay, 60.
I'm okay with that.
I'm 60-40.
I'm right with that.
Herbert 60, Kellen 40. And it may have been with him abandoning a lot of the.
I'm okay with 55-45.
That's where you go.
I'm just not okay with 100% Herbert, 0% Kellen Moore.
Maybe 30-70.
I'm okay with that too. From my point of view, it sounds like you're saying that it's all on Herbert.
No, he got to get some of it. Because he got to get some of it.
I'm all right with that. I thought you were saying it all like, hey, Kellen did great. Herbert,
How you switch this around when we defending your guy?
I'm just saying, look at it. When you look at it, the touchdowns that they scored, was it something immaculate that Herbert did? Like in Dak Prescott's situation, that was him. That wasn't the play call drawn up. That was him making those plays. When they had to score, was it Herbert or was it a drawn up play? Because if you seen it, you watched both of those scores. That was an offensive play that was called.
Kellen Moore was in his bag as he usually is in the first part of the first part. He always has been a dude who can call these type of plays to get guys open.
We're going to take our last break because I'm so confused right now. I'm so confused. I don't know how you just flipped that around on us, but you did. He flipped that around. And we're going to take our last break and be right back here on the Players Lounge. What?
I just don't know what y'all.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
Hi, I'm Danny McCray, Dallas Cowboys alumni player here with Smoothie King. And Smoothie King wants to ask you, what's that sound? That's the sound of you and everyone else absolutely loving new smoothie bowls from Smoothie King. And woo, me too. These smoothie bowls start with acai and pitaya and are handcrafted with fresh toppings like sliced bananas, sweet berries, crunchy Purely Elizabeth granola, and a savory peanut butter drizzle. New smoothie bowls, only at Smoothie King, the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys.
To kick off the 2023 NFL season, Hugo Boss teamed up with the NFL and Micah Parsons to launch an iconic apparel collection featuring hoodies, crews, t-shirts, polos, joggers, and more. The bold, unique apparel of the Boss NFL collection unites football and fashion while reflecting what it truly means to be a boss. Get yours today at nflshop.com/HugoBoss, at HugoBoss.com, and at Boss retail stores. #Be your own boss.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks home or away, we rally together. We cry together, and we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Back to the Players Lounge.
The 2024 PBR World Finals are taking over at AT&T Stadium on May 18th and 19th. Don't miss your chance to see the biggest and the best bull riding action as the world's best riders fight for the coveted gold buckle. It all comes down to this. 2-day ticket packages are on sale now at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner of AT&T Stadium. Go get that gold buckle. Let you go get that gold. You're a bull rider, right? You know that. No, H-Town. He's a rodeo guy.
What is going on today? Victory Tuesday, baby. Victory Tuesday.
Yo, listen. How do you bounce back?
I've been to the rodeo though. I ain't gonna. I've been to the rodeo. But only when they do the cook-off. I'll go to the cook-off.
Come on, it's a big deal in Houston, man.
The cook-off. No, the rodeo is a big deal in Houston. It's just not my cup of tea. We like bull riding and stuff. I watch Yellowstone. I'll be all right. But the cook-off, you get you a wristband to get into the cook-off. You winning.
You won.
You winning.
Hey man, first of all, I just want real quick. Teams are scheming up number 11. And scheming them up. You see it, man. Offensive lines are just saying, what we're going to do, we're going to run. People talk, you run at them. You see players, you see teams starting to run away from him, starting to max protect, starting to just try and run him by the quarterback. And my question is, man, when you have a guy like that so much attention is being paid to him, why aren't the other guys? We only had one sack last night on Justin Herbert. And that was as good as the defensive line played, shutting down the run and supporting the back. I just felt like, man, more guys should have been involved and got more pressure. Did y'all see the same thing, or was it just a virtuoso performance, though?
No, I want you. Guys are paying a little bit more attention. Well, they've been paying a lot of attention to the big bazooka, but I feel like in this instance with this game, stats didn't really tell the picture of the entire situation.
Okay. How so?
Because when you look at it, they stifled that run game. I mean, I think it was 25 attempts, only 50 yards.
53 yards.
53 yards. So they stifled that run game. And then if you look at it, they might not have gotten those sacks, but there was pressure on Herbert pretty much the entire night. Yeah. Whether he was holding it long or not, whatever the case may be, there was pressure out there. So to me, I think those guys are winning their one-on-ones out there, and the stat sheets just didn't display that because you didn't see a whole bunch of sacks out there. Big Bazooka did his thing with one sack, but he was relatively quiet the rest of the night. To me, the rest of those guys, they did their job winning, especially D-Law, when you talk about stopping the run out there, did their job. It just didn't reflect on the stat sheet, in my opinion.
Yeah, listen, I think just based off what Church has been talking about when we talk about Herbert, they affected the quarterback.
They did.
They affect a good quarterback, a good quality quarterback who people expected to be in the MVP race. They affected him, and some of those throws were uncharacteristic because of the effect that the defense, he's worried about, hey, man, I got to get the ball out of my hands quick because I might get sacked, or I might get hit, or I might get pressured, and you saw that affect him even before they got into the game. Obviously, that he knew, hey man, this might be one of them. So I think they did their job. I think some games you have where, all right, you might not hit the stat sheet like that, right? You might not. You started off the year and you was wreaking havoc, and then now you might have hit that little slump where, okay, now we need to play more sound defensively. So where if we're not getting those type of plays, can we still sustain?
Right.
And they showed that they can do that. And those sacks and turnovers, they always come in bunches. So once they start rolling again, it'll be 3 for Micah, 2 for Old Diggy Zoo, 2 for D-Law, and then it'll be going crazy. I'm not worried about that.
Real quick, now that I think about it, I'm looking at the game over here behind me, and I'm sitting there thinking in my head, man, as of right now, look, Joe Burrow better than Herbert.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it, I'm sitting here thinking in my head, because I see it over there. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, man, it's not even the whole Joe Burrow thing. You know what I mean? Herbert, he looked like a deer in headlights out there yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, when you talk, he just looked like when the moment was too big for him out there, it just seemed like he didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
And that to me, that's frustrating because I believe in Herbert, but that's frustrating. I do think he'll get back. He'll get back into that upper echelon one of these days. But as of right now, nah, he's a deer in headlights.
I got to give my defense a lot of credit, though. And that's why I bring that question up, because I felt like they should have had more sacks. And it was Justin Herbert moving up. And he's 6'6", 200, whatever he is, and he can throw that rock. Okay, first of all. And I seen a little bit more mobility. But I think that our defense was just all over him. I think he didn't have anywhere to go. And when the opportunity presented itself and he didn't make the play, that's what surprised me. That's where I was like, well, wait a minute, dog. What y'all do? You in? Like what's going on? Because he will make that play 100 times out of 100, and that's the only thing to me that was a takeaway. And I got to give the defense credit, but on the other end, because I know you guys, man, y'all gonna talk about, okay, we got this win. Calm down, Heckman. Let's talk about the upper echelon teams, because we got some big teams coming up on the docket. And so for y'all, when I take this victory. And I know we're not changing our picks until we get through the bye week.
Well,
but does this victory, does this defense, and just the improvement coming back from that San Francisco loss, do you guys look at that now and say, all right, this may be the team that I expected or I thought they were going to be, or does that doubt that came after the San Francisco 49ers game still linger?
No, I might switch some of my wins to losses still. As we move through the season, I still need to see more. I will say this: I am happy that Big Mike went on ahead and did what he said he was going to do and played to his defense and kicked that field goal on 4th down instead of going for it, because we saw a previous game where he was like, I'm going for it on 4th. I'm so happy. I'm like, hey, thank you, bro. Do what you said you were going to do, because it helped you win the game by
You were not opposed. You weren't opposed to that.
And look at the vice versa. Staley went, took the damn points. But,
so now, like I still need to see more. All right, I need to see more. The upper echelon team that we played.
Specifically, what though? When you say I need to see more,
I want to see more offensively. I want to see Brandon Cooks and CeeDee Lamb be a focal point of this offense on a consistent basis. Not one of these ones where Brandon Cooks caught a touchdown, didn't really have that many yards, but he caught a touchdown. All of a sudden he's there. Nah, Brandon Cooks is a 100-yard guy.
Yeah,
like I need to see him be that 100-yard guy. And that's when I know that Dak Prescott and his receivers are clicking on all cylinders, and that's how we're going to then be able to move forward in the playoffs.
You lost hope and focus on your boy at number 10. I'm shocked.
Nah,
it's something in the water.
You can only go
right
by
now.
what you see.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But some cats on this show, sitting next to me, they like the front run. But hey, I only go by what I see. Man.
But I know the bye. We agreed as a podcast that we would change in our picks to after the bye week. So seeing the Cowboys get into the winning column here before the bye, does that change your mind on anything? Or you still? I got big question marks.
No, I got question marks. I'm still 11-6. I want to see what they do, and I hate saying that because you can only play who's on your schedule,
right.
But I got to see what they do against a more complete team. When you look at the Chargers, yes, they're explosive offensively, but defensively, they're dead last in the entire National Football League, giving up 25 points a game. So I got to see them going against a more complete team, but this was a sign in the right direction when you talk about Dak Prescott putting the team on his shoulders.
Man, it's so easy to do a show, man, when you win, dog. Hey, this is so cool. Man. Y'all don't go nowhere, dog. y'all so cool, dog. Out there, and then y'all owned it though. I should have put a taster cake on it, but I didn't.
It ain't. Listen,
I didn't. But I know they coming though.
It ain't my fault that happened. It's the Cowboys' fault for going out there. Look at how they looked against 49ers. That made me change my mind because I had them. I was the same with you. What 13-5, 12? I mean 13-4.
Yeah.
11-5.
Something another.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying. I was with you. And then they went out there and got stomped.
So let me make sure I break this down before we go. Talking Cowboys is going to be Kyle Yeomans, Barry Church, Brian Broadus, Kurt Daniels at
9 a.m. Check us out, baby.
For storyline with Nick Eatman, it's going to be Nick and Nate. Man, storyline going to be off the chain. Cowboys break, Derek Eagleton, Nick Harris, Danny McCray, and John Machota. Mix shots, Bill Jones, Mickey Spagnola, and Christy Scales. Hanging with the boys is Shannon Gross, Aisha Morrison, Patrick Walker, and yours truly.
Hey.
Players Lounge is Nui Scruggs, Jesse Holly, Everson Walls, and Jess Navarez. And Girls Talk, Boys Talk will be Nicole Hutchinson, Ambar Garcia, Isaiah Standback, and Savannah. I cannot say that last name, but I'm sure she's a great person. So the podcasts are going to be going down. We got the media mix-up, and so we're going to have a whole bunch of fun. Make sure y'all come and join us for all the mix-up. But this has been the Players Lounge, baby.
Ain't this one of them sororities?
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!